All right, good evening, United American Patriots. Just want to give you a quick update. I know everybody's hunkering down now at home, concerned about the coronavirus. So before we get into details about what's going on with United American Patriots, just want to wish everybody good health and look out for one another. I know that some people, are pretty scared about what's happening right now, and rightfully so, because we haven't seen something like this in 100 years here in our country. However, we will get through this. And keep in mind that the media tends to play on and exaggerate or make the story about that which is most frightening and horrible and terrifying. And the reality is, if you're an older person, or if you have a weakened immune system, or if you have some sort of a precondition that makes you more susceptible to this virus, this could be a really dangerous and deadly situation. But keep in mind that the numbers are really very small. Even for those people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, you're seeing 10 to 15% of people are actually, being fatalities. Now, that's bad, especially if you're one of those people. But again, look at the other side. You're talking about 85 to 90% of the people who are not. So I don't want to diminish the threat here. This is real, and this is something that we haven't seen again here on our shores in 100 years. But we're going to get through this, and we're going to get through it just fine. But we also have to keep in mind that even if you're younger and you're not susceptible to this virus, it doesn't mean that you don't have a role to play. You can't be cavalier. You can't just go out and say, well, it's not going to affect me. I'm young, I'm fit, and all the rest. Which the reality is, you're right. It may not. You may not get sick, or you might just get slightly sick. Or if you do, you'll be able to bounce back and you're not going to have any long-term effects. There are some indications that are saying that even if you do get through this, you may have some long-term impact. It may diminish your capacity of your lungs. But the bigger concern is that we're not playing individual ball here. This is a team effort. And so when you go out and you start moving around and all the rest, you may end up picking up this virus from someone who you don't even know has the virus, because it takes a while for it to even incubate and create a problem. And then all of a sudden, now you're passing this on to other people. So we don't know who you're going to pass it on to, because you don't know who you're going to touch, who you're going to impact, and then that person is going to pass it on to someone else. So the whole point of us sort of hunkering down right now is to try to minimize this. Again, you probably heard the whole saying, we want to flatten the curve. Now, the whole point of flattening the curve is we want to make sure that we're not overwhelming our medical systems right now. Like in New York right now, we're seeing a tremendous amount of cases, and the medical system's getting overwhelmed. So what we want to try and do is, instead of put this spike here that people are still going to get exposed, but we want to extend that a little bit to allow, number one, our medical facilities to be prepared to handle anybody that comes in. But secondly, and importantly, is that we have some of the best doctors and scientists and medical professionals in the world. We will come up with some sort of an antidote, virus prevention, cure, vaccine, whatever you want to call it. We will address that. And whether or not it's here or in Israel or some other country, we're going to come up with a solution. But it may take time, because various different aspects will have to be tested. And there are, as you already know, various different possibilities that are being tested, but even that takes time. So we're buying time. Now, why is this challenging for warriors out here, men of action, women of action, who are used to doing things? Well, the problem is, when there's a problem, we like to go and address it. We fix it. We say, all right, this shouldn't be this way, and let's go out and take care of it. This is like myself and many other warriors who had left active duty when all of a sudden 9/11 happened. Now all of a sudden was, hey, now it's time to go out, and now it's time to respond, and now it's time to take action. But now we're being told we're not going to take action. So that's the challenging emotional and psychological aspect to all of this. And moreover, there are still plenty of people that are going to continue to have to work. Like, our capitalist system is not crashing just because we have a few sick people. Why? Because we've got an amazing supply chain. We have truck drivers that are going to go out, and they're going to continue to deliver the goods, so that when all of a sudden everybody's freaking out and says, there's no toilet paper, guess what? There's going to be toilet paper next week and the week after that. We're going to keep having all the essentials that we need to survive, because we're going to have people working in the hospitals. We're going to have emergency responders. We're going to have law enforcement. We're going to have truck drivers. We're going to have all the various different people along the supply chain, the warehouse people, all these people that, for the most part, go unseen and unheard, and nobody gives any sort of respect to during the day. Now, all of a sudden, these are going to be the lifesavers. And so let's make sure we're paying respect for everybody, or to everybody, and help everybody as best we can. And unfortunately, the most challenging thing is the best way we can help is minimize the exposure, so that, again, those people who do have to go out there, there's less of a chance of them being exposed to this contagion. So anyway, I just wanted to address that, let you know that long term, I'm very positive. I see that, there are some benefits to all of this. Number one, this will give us all more time to spend at home with our families. That's a great benefit. It'll give many people an opportunity to work on their honey-do list if there were things that hadn't gotten done, assuming that you don't have to go out and get anything else. But if there's something that is sitting on the side, focus on your own hobbies, focus on things, write your own book, do some artwork. There's a lot of opportunities here to spend some time doing some additional work that you may not have ordinarily found the time to do it. Well, now you don't have an excuse. Okay. The next thing is, there's going to be some great buying opportunities. If you've always been concerned about, well, I want to get in the market, but I don't know how to get into the market, guess what? You're going to see some great buying opportunities. I'm not going to tell you when to do this, but I will tell you, if you look at the markets over time, the markets always come back. And if you believe the market is never going to come back and it's going down, well, then guess what? It doesn't matter anyway. Then we're heading to a Mad Max apocalypse. We're not. Okay, we're not even going to see anything near that. So there's going to be opportunities. If you have an opportunity to invest your money, invest your money. Figure out where you think that market's going to be. Talk to some people, read some articles, and guess what? Your guess is just as good as anybody else's. And even if you buy it and it drops a little bit more, guess what? The market's going to come back up and it's going to go surpass that, and you'll end up doing just fine. So the third, and again, I think I touched on this earlier, is that it's going to give people who might not have ordinarily respected people who have different views a different perspective. So, we've got a lot of people in America who are preppers. For them, this is nothing. They've been waiting for this for years. We have a lot of people who own firearms, and there's a lot of people who say, wow, what do you need a firearm? Well, guess what? Now you might realize, well, there may be some minor breakdowns in law and order. Somebody might be coming from your toilet paper. Not really. But the bottom line is, it's going to give people a chance to rethink things that they just based upon assumption, situation, normal. And the reality is our world, our history is cyclical. Things happen, they go up, they go down, things happen that you may never expected. So that brings us around to the things that our warriors never expected. And that was being faced with charges from their own command. And so we continue to fight these fights. We continue to have to support them and pay these warriors legal bills. So obviously, we're going to keep pressing, making sure that we've got the funding to support our warriors. We're going to be elevating the information as best we can to Congress, the president, to the public, letting everybody know what's going on. But there's one case right now, which when I say one case, it's really involving 3 warriors that we just had some latest information on. And this was Gunnery Sergeant Danny Drar, Gunnery Sergeant Josh Negron, and Chief Special Operations Independent Duty Corpsman Eric Gilmet. And these 3 raiders who were with MARSOC, the Marine Special Operations Command, they've been charged with manslaughter. And I got a chance to actually see the videotapes. It wasn't manslaughter. They acted in self-defense, but the command is overcharging them and has already gone with the presumption of guilt. They pulled them out of their jobs, pulled their security clearances, pulled their special duty pay, so it's impacted them financially. So they're being treated as guilty before they've even been in front of a jury, before they've even gone to trial. So this is pretty horrible in and of itself, but it gets worse. And the worst part is that we've got a motions filing, assuming that's still going to go on April 6th, in which we're going to be bringing to the court's attention some additional unlawful command influence, UCI. What the heck is this all about? Well, there are plenty of warriors who either observed, knew about, or character witnesses and recognize that what's happening to these Marines is unjust. And so they've talked to them and said, hey, don't worry, we've got your back. We're going to support you. We're going to figure this thing out, one team. And then all of a sudden, the command has told them, don't get involved. This may impact your career. You don't want to have anything to do with this. And I'm not just talking about some junior enlisted men that, or women that, these are good, hardworking warriors, but, may or may not want to stick around in the military. We're talking about senior enlisted and officers. A captain in the United States Marine Corps even wrote about how the command basically said, do not get involved. I mean, it's one thing to take away a warrior's presumption of innocence. That in and of itself, it's atrocious. It goes against our Constitution. It goes against our whole concept of due process here in the United States. We believe in the whole concept of the presumption of innocence. You have to prove guilt. So it's bad enough when you're bringing these warriors in with the presumption of guilt. However, now where you're trying to take away those witnesses who are then going to impact that, the game is just lopsided. It's just horrific. So, we're calling upon General Yu, commanding general of MARSOC, to put an end to this. This is ridiculous. And we're calling upon all of you, get a hold of your congressman. If you need more information, go to UAP.org. We've got this all on our website. We've got plenty of warriors we're going to continue to fight for. So spread the word. Let people know what's going on. Send questions, emails, all the rest. And we'll do the best we can to address them. But shifting back to you and your families, stay safe. Be aware of people around you and see if you can help them out, help give guidance, but set the example. Set the example. It's not easy, but it's a part of discipline. Maintain that distance. Keep yourself at home as much as you can. And if you got to go out in town, be cautious. If you're one of those people that's out there supporting our economy and supporting everything that we're doing here, if necessary, wear gloves, put a mask on, whatever guidance that you're being given, wash your hands, stay clean. Not easy. And God bless you. I appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing out there on behalf of our nation. And Semper Fi, and we'll keep you updated as more things come out. God bless you all. Take care.